What's up, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's June 6, 2022. It's 11:55 p.m. here on the East Coast, soon to be June 7th. I hope everyone had a very good weekend. I had a very restful one because something didn't go as planned, so I decided just to stay in the house this weekend. I don't go out in Philly a lot. I'm blessed to have a job. I work from home. I do Uber Eats on Saturday. I couldn't do it last Saturday because I rent cars on the weekend and my host was a real jerk, I'll probably do a video about this. Why is it so hard to do business with other American blacks? Why do black people make it so hard on each other with every helm? But that's another video. I'm jumping on this video because I was watching one of my subs down in Atlanta, shout out to the A, and he's talking about the shootings going on down there. I know there was a shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Shout out to Tennessee. So I didn't want you Southerners leaving us Northerners out of the fun. I mean, what do you guys think it's just happening in these used to be grand cities down in the South? Oh, no. Here in Philadelphia, two younger men, I think they're in their 20s or early 30s, somewhere in there, they get into argument down on South Street. Now, if you've ever been to Philadelphia, South Street's one of their tourist spots. To my understanding, it was very rough through the 80s. Then they gentrified it. Now it's a tourist spot. I've been to South Street a couple times. Not really my deal because Philadelphia has something called the Parking Authority, and parking's a nightmare down there, so I don't go down there. And there's a lot of younger people clubbing and doing their thing, so it's not really for me. However, South Street is one of the nicest parts of the city. You're not living on South Street for less than $2,000 a month, at least. And I'm being very conservative because a lot of those brownstones and those 3-tier row homes, they're pretty pricey anywhere in Center City, actually. This happened, I believe, on 3rd and South Street. These two younger, because I'm not going to call these fools young because they're adults, get into a fight, decide to start shooting in a crowd. Just some young people, younger people, all kind of people, but younger people mostly, letting loose after a long week of work, going out to have some drinks with their friends. Can't even do that in peace because 2 or 3 Negroes want to get into a fight over who has on the latest Jordans or who has the shiniest gumball or something asinine like that. Clearly they can't handle their liquor, so I'm not wondering why these people are even going out and wreaking havoc on normal people. You can find the story all online because, again, there were 3 murders in this shooting, 11 wounded. One of the people murdered, he was like 22. And he did some work with at-risk youth over at one of the colleges here in Philadelphia. Very unfortunate. When you assholes come to my channel or any other channel, or you ones in real life, always talking about who's getting older. See, this is why I don't have a problem getting older, because a lot of people aren't getting older. And wrongfully so. You can't even go out and have a fucking drink these days. Hell, the guy in Atlanta I was watching, one guy got shot. He was just going to get some chicken wings and got shot due to some other niggas and their bullshit. Pulling out a gun and just shooting. Now, from where I sit, I said in my past videos, I'm going to keep saying this. Black people, you got a short amount of time to get your shit together. It's the window's closing every day, I assure you. Because what's going to end up happening under this president, and if you watch the news, which a lot of niggas, y'all don't like to watch news because everything's positive in your world, they're putting together a domestic terrorism list. And who do you think's going to be in the top 3 of domestic terrorists on that list? Now, a few years ago with BLM and they were letting niggas riot and loot coast to coast and all that, they got away with it because the last president and the powers that be didn't like him. So they let you niggas get away with it. And in that time, you older black people have taught these younger black people, it's no matter what they do, there's no consequences. They don't have to worry about the police, law enforcement. They don't have to take other people's lives into consideration because it's all about them. And mind you, most of these young black people, younger black people, didn't come up in a nuclear family. So they don't have that fear of authority that people with traditional fathers, real fathers, that we have. They don't have that shit. And y'all co-signed this shit in the last 5 years talking about the police or this and that and the third. Look how lawless it is out here from city to city. And these younger black people have no consideration for anyone. And this shit's getting out of hand. It's been out of hand. But what you're doing is making it easier for the powers that be to mark you as a domestic terrorist. See, once you're in that domestic terrorist category, you're fucked. Because you're not going to have to worry about law enforcement. You're going to have to worry about the feds. And the feds do things a lot differently than any local law enforcement. This shit's out of hand. I'm sitting back watching this group of people that I'm a part of. And I'm wondering, what is it going to take for you all to get your shit together? Now, I listen to and I read comments about, and I know where people got this expression from, but I won't dare mention this YouTuber's name. If there's three, I will not be. Well, let me let y'all in on a little secret. Whether you hang out with these niggas or think you're better than, or you live in a more ritzy part and got a little bit of money or you don't, black people as a group of people were fucked. As I said in one video about another YouTuber, it matters not how much money you got when your money never stays in your community. Never. Our money don't stay in our communities. I'm here in Philadelphia. I'm surrounded by nothing but bodega and African-owned stores. And these people are making buku money off of our dysfunction as a group of people. And no one wants to, or very few people look at it as a group issue. Just me, and I have money, and I live here, and I live there. I don't care where you live. If you're a Negro from this soil, this impacts you. Because trust me, once they put black people on this domestic terrorist list, because that's what they're working on, black people and parents, funnily enough, very scary. Once we're put on that domestic terrorist list, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to give them every excuse to arrest and jail these younger generations of blacks and restrict us even more than we're restricted now. And I'm listening to these stupid niggas with a bit of money. I'm so sick of these niggas with their money, because in my opinion, if you may have a couple dollars, but if your whole group is doing bad, no one cares, because those other groups know you could have $1 million, but you have nowhere to spend it. You have no way of retaining that $1 million into your neighborhood to build wealth as a group of people. So black people should really get out the habit of, oh, I have money, or I don't hang with this and that and the third. Now, I don't really go out in Philadelphia. I've been here 12 years, and I may move at the end of the year. I'm not sure yet, but I've been here 12 years. When I first got to Philadelphia, I went out to shows and bars and different things. The luster has worn off. And in 2020, since COVID, I had been in this city 10 years and never experienced a drive-by shooting. It's like once COVID hit, the city went wild. Things that weren't happening in 2019 are becoming the fucking norm. I never worried about a drive-by shooting in Philly. I don't care how violent, whatever neighborhood. Drive-bys didn't become fashionable again until 2020. These mass shootings and at the amount of times people are getting shot. They're not even shooting people once or twice. They're shooting people with extended clips. This is men, women, and children, old people, whomever. And it wasn't like that 10, 12 years ago. This shit's insane. Now, last I knew, they caught one of the two shooters on that South Street shooting, and they're going to catch them. Because this is another thing. If you niggas think that you're going to keep spilling into cracker shit and getting away with it, you can think again. Or not just white people either. Asian people, Hispanic people, all them groups that have communal wealth. When they have $1 million, that shit's bouncing around in their community because they don't let it go. Unlike us, they're getting sick of your shit. They're getting sick of burying their children and whatnot because their kids went out to a fucking party. They're getting sick of your shit. And black people, we got a real big problem, because for all the ones that talk about money you got and all this other shit, you ain't got money compared to the group of Asians that have overtaken us, and Hispanics. Compared to them, we have shit. Because our money doesn't bounce. If our money bounced in our community and we had shit, we could talk shit, but we don't. Matter of fact, close to the only entities in the black neighborhoods that have any money that don't give back is the churches. I live in the middle of the hood, and I'm surrounded by at least $3 million churches. It's wild. And you know, a lot of these black churches ain't doing shit for the community. That's why I don't even bother with them. I haven't in many years. But I'm listening to these black people talk about the money and the this and that. Right now, we have nothing, and we're on the way to a domestic terrorist list. Them young men that were down and partying and got the shooting down there on South Street, they might have had a few coins. It wouldn't surprise me if they were driving a Mercedes Jeep or whatever. Money can't buy class. It never can, never could, and it never will. It wouldn't surprise me if those young brothers had a little bit of coin in the bank and still acting like fucking heathens and shooting up people. And I see this isn't just here in Philly. It's in Chattanooga. It's in ATL. It's in Miami. It's out in East St. Louis. It's out in California. It just, what is it going to take for you niggas to get together? Or maybe you won't. But by 2025, don't say no one didn't warn you, because you guys are making your way to the domestic terrorism list that your current POTUS is putting together, as he's distracting us from the things that are important, the economy, this domestic terrorist list, the wars we're about to be in. Oh no, he wants to keep our mind on abortion and whatever other stupid things going on to keep our mind off of what the really is going on. I had to jump on and do this quick video. I'll keep you in the loop of what's going on with the one they arrested and the one they're looking for. But this is why I do not go out in Philadelphia. Only time I go out is Saturdays to do work, and when I do that, I stay in the same area, so the restaurant people know me, I know them, and I pray every time I get into a car, every time I leave my house, because it's lawless here. Y'all be safe out there.